That's okay though. For being so young, you're very, very smart. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So keep up the good work, man, and stay flat, okay?
Okay, I'm a flat earther. She couldn't do it. I'm a flat earther. I'm a flat earther. I'm a flat earther. I'm a flat all she did was walk away. And I was like, what is this about? What?
That's okay though. For being so young, you're very, very smart. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So keep up the good work, man, and stay flat, okay?
Okay, I'm a flat earther. Couldn't do it.
Up for sound bites. This is awesome.
Alright everyone, welcome back to Anti-Religious Scripture Study with me, Karen B, and of course, Just Jack Flat Earth.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Sorry, I was jamming to I'm a flat earther. There's like a 20-second lag, so you started, I'm like, oops, gotta mute that. All right. So sorry I didn't do a episode last week. I just had a lot going on, so I just
It's that time of year.
figured I'd push it back. So we're in Deuteronomy chapter 10, just to get people up to date to where we're at. I'll read my disclaimer. Just Jack's disclaimer to the religious. If you believe it's wrong to study the scripture outside of your religion or denomination, if you believe your religious leaders or church fathers are incapable of having inherited anti-scriptural traditions of men, if you've already made up your mind about scripture, including the scripture shouldn't be studied at all, then the stream is not for you. To others, if you are open-minded to others' opinions, if you haven't made up your mind about scripture, if you've been turned off to religion but believe there's truth in scripture that may have been changed or hidden by religion, if you live according to scripture and like to dig in and discover more, then the stream is for you. We are looking at scripture in the original language using concordances or dictionaries for root words, as well as context from a non-religion perspective. We will as well have life experience discussion. We are not here to argue with others about theology or doctrine by the traditions of men, including Catholicism, Christianity, Islam, or Judaism. We will be discussing the importance of origins and show how religions contradict the scriptures. There we go. Alrighty then.
All right.
So basically, Moshe is like going through the history of coming out of midstream, aka Egypt, going into crossing the Jordan into the promised land. And in this, when he reiterates the story, he's adding more details than what was in previous books, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers. And we're at Deuteronomy chapter 10 now. And the heading is, the new tables of stone. So if you, let's say you believe that the headers are part of the Bible, which they're not, you might assume that there's yet another set. Like, this is what, set number 3, 4? Where are we at?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not new. It's the second set, right? That Moshe got the first set, came down the mountain. The people were doing all kinds of debauchery to the golden calf, and then he broke them, and Yehovah told him to make another set. So that's the story he's reiterating now. And when I was reviewing it, it gives you more details of the travel to go to where Aaron died, and Aaron died on Mount Hor. That's in, I think it's Leviticus 20, or no, Numbers 20, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so what I do is, if something comes up, Aaron died, and I want to, study about that specific subject, I usually go to the King James Version just because it's better for the search engine. And I would just type Aaron died. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And then look for that statement, Now this has Aaron and died in it also, but they're not talking about Aaron dying. And it says Aaron died here. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Numbers chapter 20. So yeah, whenever you see something like that and it's like, wait, I don't remember, it talking about these details, it's good to get both parts of it together, to give you a better picture,
Mm-hmm.
for people who are studying. All right. I'll go back to parallel and go to verse 1. And whenever you're ready.
All right. At that time, Yehovah said to me, hew for yourself 2 tablets of stone like the first, and come up to me on the mountain, and you shall make yourself an ark of wood.
Okay. And the ark is the the container of order. So like organizer, the ark. And yeah, the other thing, when it says 2, because of, it depends on whether or not you care for the vowel pointings or whatever, but the vowel pointings kind of allude to not two, but duplicate tablets of stone, which is a little more, it makes more sense because it's a covenant, which is a contract. So it's a copy for the people and a copy for Jehovah.
Right.
So, all right. Verse 2.
Then I write on the tablets the words that were on the first tablets, which you broke, and you shall
Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
and you shall put them in the ark.
All right. So Yah is saying, which you broke, right?
So I made an ark of acacia wood, hewed 2 tablets of stone, like the first, and went up the mountain with 2 tablets in my hand.
Okay. So I find this confusing. One second. The top of the mountain and duplicates. Yeah, that's kind of a bad translation because he didn't go up with the 2 tablets, right? He came down from it. So I carved duplicates of tablets stone like as first and up the mountain and duplicate the tablets in my hand. So it doesn't say went up the mountain with the 2 tablets of stone. That's not right. He went up the mountain and did the 2 tablets of stone in his hand. So that's what it's about.
Well, I don't get
With his hand. With his hand. Not in my hand.
Okay.
So it's confusing because it sounds like he went up the mountain with 2 tablets of stone in his hand. He didn't go up the mountain with tablets in his hand. He broke them, right? And it's a nuance, right? It's the parts of the sentence that mess it up. So he did the 2 tablets with his hand, right?
Okay. Alrighty.
Yeah, his hand was used to cut the tablets. That's what he's saying. That's all it's talking about.
Okay. All right. And he wrote on the tablets, according to the first writing, the 10 words which Jehovah had spoken to you in the mountain from the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly. Then Jehovah gave them to me.
Okay. And when it's talking about he and it's talking about Jehovah did the writing and the words. So Moshe cut the stones with his own hands and Jehovah wrote the words. All right?
The 10 words.
Yes. Correct.
And I turned and came down from the mountain and put the tablets in the ark which I had made, and they are there as Jehovah commanded me.
Okay.
Now the children of Yisrael out from the wells of Bani Yakan to Moserah, Aharon died there, and he was buried there, and Eleazar his son became priest in his place.
Okay, so these details right here, from the wells of Bene Yakan to Moserah, that's not in the original description, but it talks about the overarching area from this large area to this large area, and this is more specific. And I want to show you here that he stopped talking about being on the mountain, but then he jumps back in it. This is right from verse 5 through 10, or 5 through 9 is in parenthetical statement. In other words, he paused talking about being on the mountain and talk about what they did when they left the mountain, and then he goes back to talking about being on the mountain. It's very strange.
Okay.
All right, verse 7.
From there they set out to Good Godah, and from Good Godah to the Yotbatah, a land of rivers of water.
And this could actually be translated as the valleys, the land of valleys of water instead of rivers of water, because it's the dividers. They use rivers to divide and they use valleys to divide mountains. I'm pretty sure it's valleys because they were talking about that area, about the valleys, but that's a guess.
All right. At that time, Jehovah separated the tribe of Levi to bear the ark of the covenant of Jehovah, to stand before Jehovah, to serve him, and to bless in his name to this day.
Okay.
Therefore Levi has no portion nor inheritance with his brothers. Jehovah is his inheritance, as Jehovah your Elohim promised him.
Okay.
And I stayed in the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights, and Jehovah heard me at that time also, and Jehovah chose not to destroy you.
Okay, so he's talking about leaving and Aaron giving up the priesthood to his son and dying and going to another location. And Levi is the one to carry the ark, and Levi has no portion. And I stayed at the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights. Like, what? Wait, that was a long parenthetical statement going completely off the subject and then right back to it. So, yeah. What was the purpose of, chose not to destroy you? Because the covenant was between Yah and his people based on the there was a book of the covenant with a sacrifice and everything where the children of Israel agreed to the contract saying that if we break this contract, the penalty can be death. And so Yah's like, okay, I'm going to start over with you, Moshe. These people, like, you've been gone for, a month and they went crazy. And I'll start, and I'm being very, using my own verbiage here. But he says, I'm going to destroy them and start over with you. And Moshe is like, no, don't do that, please. I don't want to do this again. And then he's like, what are the other nations going to say? That you led them into the desert to die? That kind of stuff. So, all right, 11.
And Jehovah said to me, Arise, go before the people to set out, and let them go in and possess the land which I swore to their fathers to give them.
Okay.
And now, Yisrael, what is Jehovah your Elohim asking of you, but to fear Jehovah your Elohim, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve Jehovah your Elohim with all your heart and with all your being.
And all his ways could be all of his paths, all of his roads. I think that's kind of important as well.
To guard the commands of Jehovah and his laws, which I command you today for your good.
It functions.
So wait, he's asking, that ends in a question mark. God, it's a long question mark. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with what you're saying.
I didn't even notice it. I wasn't even paying attention. What?
Because he's saying, and now, Yisrael, what is Jehovah your Elohim asking
what is he
of you?
asking of you?
Yeah, but to fear you, to walk in his ways, and to serve your Elohim, and to guard
Make
the
sure
commands.
you say it as a question.
Which you command you for your good. Yeah, it's crazy.
I have no idea why there's a question there.
See the heavens, and the heavens of heavens belong to Jehovah your Elohim, also the earth with all that is in it.
Okay, so if you look over here in the King James Version, some of the King James versions, right? So like if you go to, like, let's say the dollar store, all right, and you buy King James Version Bible, it may not have certain words italicized, but these italicized words are words that were added after the fact of translation, and they admit it as such with the oh my gosh, the ISO writing. And I find it interesting that when the Scriptures version did their copy, they didn't point that out. So also is not there, nor is it necessary. Look here for Jehovah, Elohim of yours, the Shemayim and Shemayims of Shemayim, the Arets, and all complete that which in it. So there also didn't need to be there, but they stuck it in there, I guess, because American people were getting confused that the Shemayim is the earth. I don't know. All right, verse 15.
Jehovah delighted only in your fathers to love them, and he chose their seed after them, you above all peoples, as it is today.
Okay. after them in your from all complete and with people like Yom the this. Yeah, this is another one of those things where above all, it's from all. It's right here. From all the people. And why does that matter? Because you get people the thought in their head that these people are above all the people. No. These people are from all the people. They're separate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not that they're special people, but that they're from all the peoples. This is the same statement as in the what I believe is the 10 words. I'm going to go there really quick. We're at verse 15. Okay. Exodus 19:5. See, it says here above all the people again. See that?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you go to the Hebrew and all right, where is it? It breaks it up differently on here. Okay, here it is. McCall. So, oh my gosh, I can't highlight. Anyway, right here. McCall, the mem, the M in the beginning of the word means from, and then call, from all. Not above all. That's a very strange, I think arrogant statement.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know, the special peoples,
Right.
but everybody can be those people, so they're not special peoples, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's a small thing, but it's a big thing, right? It's one word, but
Yeah.
it like changes the whole dynamics.
Yes, it does.
All right. 16.
And you shall circumcise the foreskin of your heart and harden your neck no more.
Okay. Confusing for some people. It's obviously not a open heart surgery type of deal because the word heart is the intent, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the intent behind what you're doing type of deal, right? So it's just removing any covers from your intent, right? Being open.
Okay. For Yehovah your Elohim is Elohim of mighty ones and master of masters, the great El, mighty and awesome, who shows no partiality nor takes a bribe.
Yeah, I find it interesting that they translated this as mighty ones and this as Elohim when it's the same word, right?
Mm-hmm.
For your Elohim, he Elohi, Eloah of the Elohim. So yeah, Elohi, Elohim, Elohi, Elohim. That's what it says. So Master of Masters is also translated over here as Lord of Lords, but this is Adonai of Adonais. And there was like just for people to recognize that they may have heard this before and not recognize that they heard it before. But have you ever heard of Adonis?
Mm-hmm.
That's Adonais, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
So it's their foundational lords is what they call that. So that's what gets confusing is in the Bible, you have Yod He Vav He translated as Lord, and then you have the word Lord. So it gets very confusing when it's actually Yehovah and Adonai. And that's why those titles matter. I don't know why they just use master rather than the transliteration of Adonai, but because it gets confusing because Baal means Lord as well.
Right.
So yeah, 18.
He executes right ruling for the fatherless and the widow, and loves the stranger, giving him food and a garment.
And that's gift love. It's a specific kind of love.
And you shall
All right.
love the stranger, for you were strangers in the land of Mitzrayim.
Okay, so here is actually kind of the same point, as in there's no special people, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need to treat others, the way that you would want to be treated, because which is not a new concept. That's all the way back in the Old Testament, but it's like you've had times where you needed somebody, and now you need to be that somebody for those people who need it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Right. Fear Yehovah, your Elohim, serve him, and cling to him, and swear by his name.
Okay, this is also something that is completely foreign to people who grew up in certain religions, that like you should never swear on his name, right?
Mm-hmm.
The New Testament verse that addresses this and other such swears gets translated as you should not swear at all, but it actually is supposed to translate as you do not swear falsely, because the older Greek says that, and the Hebrew version says that as well, like you don't swear falsely.
Mm-hmm.
But the swear by his name is the more weightier swear, which is the oath, the 7, right? So it's like you must swear by his name and then not break that, give weight to it.
Mm-hmm.
He's not telling you not to swear by his name. He's telling you, yes, swear by his name. Like, I swear to Yehovah that this is truth.
Right. He is your praise. He is your Elohim, who has done for you these great and awesome deeds which your eyes have seen.
Okay.
Your fathers went down to Mitzrayim with 70 beings, and now Yehovah your Elohim has made you as numerous as the stars of the heavens.
Okay. See, KJV actually got this more right. Okay. I guess they just changed the structure of the sentence, but it's pretty close. All right. So the 70, that's something that comes up often. And what it is like, if you remember, like, Yosef, the guy with the coat,
Mm-hmm.
he went into prison and got elevated from the dream, like translating the dream for the king. He became second in command to store the grain during the famine, and then he kind of messed around with his brothers a little bit and then let him in. By that time, the tribe of Jacob / Israel, right, with the children and their wives and their children, there was a group of 70. So that's Abraham's family.
Mm.
Jacob's family, sorry. Israel's family. That's the original 70 that went into Mitzrayim. And then, of course, they multiplied, and then they were like, there's too many people, and they put them to slavery, et cetera, et cetera. So that's where the 70 came from. All right. Let me jump over to chat. Shout out to Gregory May, Chicago artist, Space Sarah. Hey, Sarah. Earth First, Space Later, Valley Parks, Good Times for All, Azing 717, Flat Earth Handy, Keto Cheeto, Alex Javier, NDB. All right, cool. Good to see you, Zach and Kimmy. All right, let me see if anybody has any questions or statements. Yeah, I've noticed that, Annie D. I've noticed that, I told Karen the same thing, that, they're given suggestions for Donald Trump for Karen's videos. Find it very funny. Like, you must be a right-wing Trump supporter because you speak against the current leadership. Okay, whatever.
It's just, yeah, whatever. Whatever.
It's funny. It's just funny. Like, no, we don't believe in any of that nonsense story. What happened last week? I don't need to go into details. So let's just say I was busy. And by the time Shabbat came around, I'm like, I am sleeping. I'm resting. Okay, I guess there's no real questioning. Hey, Sue Finelli is listening. Hi, Sue. All right. wrapped it up. So,
All
what do you
right.
want to do?
I guess we are done for the day.
Alrighty.
All
Y'all
right.
have a restful day, and the earth is definitely still flat.
Yes, have a restful day. The earth is still flat. I will see you all on Moon Day for some coffee talk. And yeah, that's it. See y'all later.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.